Something went down this weekend that honestly feels like one of those moments we are going to be talking about for a long time. Not just because of what happened on track, but because of what it could mean for the rest of the season. And here's the thing. It is not just one story. There are actually two huge stories coming out of this race, and both of them are connected in a way that just makes everything even more intense. One of them is about a split-second decision that completely changed a driver's season. And the other is about how people inside the NASCAR world are reacting to it. And trust me, not everyone is holding back. This is the kind of situation that shows you exactly how fast things can fall apart in NASCAR, and why emotions can either make you or absolutely destroy your season. So yeah, we gotta talk about this. But before we get into it, if you are a real NASCAR fan and you enjoy breaking down moments like this, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We are just getting started here on Revived Wheels, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I promise you, we are going to be talking NASCAR the way fans actually talk about it. Now, let's break this down, because once you hear everything that went into this, it gets even crazier. This all went down at Martinsville, and the center of it is Bubba Wallace and Carson Hocevar. Late in the race, around 15 laps to go, tensions were already building. Earlier, on a restart, Hocevar made a really aggressive move going 3 wide into turn 1 at Martinsville, which, if you know Martinsville, you already know that is asking for trouble. And that is where Denny Hamlin comes in, because he talked about this on his podcast, Actions Detrimental, and honestly explained exactly what a lot of fans were thinking. Hamlin basically said it is not illegal what Hocevar did, but it is a dirty move because on a restart at Martinsville, everyone has to check up going into turn 1. If you are deeper in the field, you are braking earlier than usual. And Hocevar tried to take advantage of that by diving low and forcing it 3 wide. And Bubba Wallace did not like that at all. So in that moment, Bubba makes a decision. And this is where everything changes. Instead of just racing it out and thinking about the bigger picture, he decides he is going to get him back. He drives into Hocevar. But the problem is, it did not just move him out of the way. It kept going, and suddenly it turns into a massive wreck. Bubba takes himself out, takes out a bunch of cars, and his race is basically over. He ends up finishing 36th. And just like that, a driver who came into Martinsville sitting 3rd in the standings drops all the way down to 11th. 8 spots gone in one moment. After the race, Bubba Wallace said he did not intend to hit Hocevar like that, and that he misjudged the center of the corner. But let's be real, this did not look like just a simple mistake. And that is exactly why insiders started reacting the way they did. Because Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi from The Athletic were absolutely baffled by this decision. Gluck said this was one of the most puzzling decisions we have seen all year. Think about that. This is a guy in Bubba Wallace who was having a great season, sitting 3rd in points and putting himself in position to be a real championship contender. And instead of taking a top 15 finish and banking solid points, he chooses retaliation. Jordan Bianchi also pointed out the emotional side of it, saying frustration likely played a big role. You get mad because someone took advantage of you on a restart, and then you let that frustration take over. And in NASCAR, that is dangerous because in this point system, every position matters. Every single point counts. And now, Bubba Wallace is tied at 206 points with guys like Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, and Chris Buescher. So yes, he is still in the fight. But instead of controlling his own path near the top, now he is in a tough battle just to climb back up. And that is the part that hits the hardest as a fan watching this, because you can understand why he was mad. You can even understand wanting to send a message. But was it worth it? Was it worth throwing away a potential top finish, wrecking your own car, and losing 8 spots in the standings? That is where this whole thing really starts to sting. Looking ahead, the next race just became huge for Bubba Wallace, because now it is not just about speed anymore. It is about control. It is about proving that this was a one-time mistake and not something that is going to follow him through the rest of the season. Because if there is one thing NASCAR will punish you for, it is letting emotions drive the car instead of your head. And right now, that is exactly what cost him. This is one of those moments that could either light a fire under him or quietly derail what was shaping up to be one of his best seasons ever. We are about to find out which one it is. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Bubba Wallace made the right call trying to get payback on Carson Hocevar, or should he have just taken the points and moved on? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. And if you are the kind of fan who likes real, honest NASCAR talk like this, make sure you subscribe to Revived Wheel. And honestly, my take on all of this is pretty simple. I get why Bubba Wallace was frustrated. I really do. What Carson Hocevar did on that restart was aggressive. And at Martinsville, that kind of move is always going to upset people. But this is where experience and discipline have to take over. You are running third in points. You are having one of the best seasons of your career. That is not the moment to prove a point. That is the moment to think big picture. Because in today's NASCAR, championships are not just about speed. They are about consistency and control. And in that moment, Bubba let emotion win, and it cost him big. At the same time, I will say this. This is not the end of anything for him. He is still right there in the standings, still tied in points with some of the best drivers in the field. And one strong race can put him right back in the mix. So now it's smarter, more controlled, or does this kind of moment start to snowball? That is what I am watching next race. Because situation's so interesting going forward. Because now all eyes are going to be on how Bubba Wallace handles the pressure after this. This is the part of the season where things start getting serious. Every race starts to feel heavier. Every decision matters more. And mentally, this is where drivers either lock in or start making more mistakes. If Bubba comes back in the next race calm, focused, and just races smart, then honestly, this could end up being just a small bump in the road. That is when small problems turn into big ones really fast. And let's not forget the competition around him is not going to slow down. You have guys like Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, and Chris Bucher right there in the same points range, all ready to take advantage of any mistake. That is how tight this championship fight is. And moments like what happened at Martinsville, they do not just disappear. They can define the season if you let them. So for me, this next race is not just another race. It is a statement. It is Bubba Wallace showing whether he can reset, refocus, and prove that he belongs in that championship conversation all year long. Because the speed is there. The potential is there. Now, it is just about keeping everything under control when it matters the most. And that is what separates good drivers from championship contenders. We are still a new channel trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we are just getting started because trust me, this season is far from over.